everybody! Today our topic is present perfect tense. Here is how we make this tense. So we just use have or has plus the third form of the verb. Maybe you have some questions here. The third form of the verb. So you know there are regular verbs and irregular verbs. With regular verbs, we just add ending, hopefully you said it, ending ed. For the third form, we just add ending ed, like play, played, work, worked. So the third form is the same as the second form. Now there are also irregular verbs. We change their form and they are completely different. You have to learn them by heart, right? We prepared the list of those words for you, the most common ones and the ones that are specific for this course. So in that list, the third form would be the third column. Obvious, right? You just have to learn them by heart. Saying that again. Okay, so why did we include present perfect tense in this course? Because it's really useful for interviews. When you're looking for a new job and you're having all those kinds of talks, this tense will be very, very handy. You use it to talk about your experience. Like, for example, you can say, I have worked with Java or I have not worked with Java, things like that. Here, you're using present perfect. Now, let's look at our examples as usual, right? We have positive sentence, a question, and the negative one. So, I have dealt with all kinds of problems in my job. So this is it. You're talking about your experience. And you use have and dealt. Dealt is irregular, right? So it's deal, dealt, dealt. Now this is a positive sentence and you just say who, then have, then the third form, dealt, the verb. The next one. Has he already debugged the code? That is a question. Has he already debugged the code? Now here we change the order as we usually do with questions, and we start with has, or it could be have, then who, then the verb, the third form, all the same, right? The third form. Now we also have already here, we just added it here, but we'll talk about it a bit later. It's just extra. We could just say, has he debugged the code, right? The already doesn't change anything. Has he already debugged the code? Okay, so now the negative sentence. I have bought a new workstation, but I haven't set it up yet. So in negative sentences, you just add not here, right? Have, not, haven't. And the third form all the same. So I would say that making questions and negative sentences in present perfect is really, really easy because no new words appear. You just use what you already have, right? For example, he has dealt with all kinds of problems in his job. Has he dealt with all kinds of problems in his job? He hasn't dealt with all kinds of problems in his job. And as I already mentioned, we use present perfect when we talk about our experience or about the results of our work, right? I have already debugged this code. This is the result of my work. But the important thing here is we do not say when exactly those things happened. You cannot use the words like yesterday, an hour ago, 5 minutes ago with present perfect. You do not mention the time. So, it would be incorrect to say, I have done it yesterday. If you are saying yesterday, please say I did it yesterday, right? Just I did it yesterday. But if you are not mentioning the time, you can say I've done it. And now we are going to talk about the words already, just, and yet. These words are usually used in present perfect. Now, already and just are usually put between have or has and the third form of the verb. So, I have just done it. I have already done it. He has just run it. They have just corrected it. Just means something happened like really recently, just 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, like your boss comes to ask about the results of your work and you're just, I have just done it. I have just finished. Already has the similar meaning, but it doesn't mean you did it like 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. It can be like an hour, 2 hours. It doesn't matter. We don't care. The point is, I've done it. It's ready. And as I said, we put them between have, has, and the third form of the verb. Now there is also yet. Yet is usually used in negative sentences and questions, and it goes at the end of the sentence. Not in the middle, like already and just, but at the end. I haven't set it up yet. I haven't finished this task yet. Have you talked to your boss yet? So we can use it, in questions and negatives, as I said. Another thing about present perfect, we use these words here, ever and never. Again, useful for interviews, useful for talking about your experience. I have never worked with Python, right? Have you ever worked abroad? So never and ever I used at the same place as already and just, right? So between have and the third form. Never is used in negative sentences. I have never worked with Python means I haven't worked with Python, right? However, please remember it's not correct to say I haven't never done it, because in English you cannot use double negation. You cannot say like no 2 times. That's why you understand that this is a negative question, but you don't say haven't. Never is enough. I have never worked with Python. And ever is mostly used for questions when you are asking about like in general, if someone has done something. Like here, have you ever worked abroad? And now I wanted to draw your attention to something, because you know that never, just, and already are used between have, has, and the third form. But when it's a question, they are used just before the third form, right? So maybe it's even better to say they are used before the third form. They always stay here. Okay, so this is it about present perfect. Hopefully everything is clear. To sum up, we make it using have, has, and the third form of the verb, and we use it when we talk about our experience or the results of our work, and we do not say when that happened. And the words we can usually use with present perfect are already, just, yet, ever, never. Okay, it's time for practice. Let's move to the next slide and do the exercise. All right, here you have to decide if these sentences are right or wrong. If they are right, you just leave them as they are. If they are wrong, you have to rewrite them. Let's start. Okay, so the first sentence is wrong. The correct sentence would be, I started a course on C++ last week. Because we cannot say when something happened with present perfect, right? We just use simple past there. I started. The sentence is wrong because there is a double negation here. We cannot say I haven't never. We have to say I have never dealt with this type of problems. As I said, we cannot say no for 2 times in English. And this sentence is just correct, right? I have just called this function, so the program works properly now. Just is in the correct place, and we usually use it with present perfect, so everything is fine here. And sentence number 4 is wrong. Yet is not the correct on the correct place in the sentence. I've declared a function, but I haven't written it yet. You should go to the end of the sentence. The last sentence is also wrong. Did you notice? Just one letter is wrong. Ran is the second form, right? Run, ran, run. The third form is run, like the first one. I have run the code again. Okay, thank you guys. As usual, there is a worksheet for you. Please go through it, do all the activities, check them with the answer sheet, and if you have questions, write them in comments. See you in the next lesson.